Hello. Hey, everybody. For those of you who are new here, we are here to read for Read It Short. However, you are more than allowed to read something completely different. So, we are reading for a reading challenge to read as many of our short books as possible. I'll talk about my book in a second, but let me first see if anybody's here to welcome. But I don't actually see any comments come in yet. So, yeah, maybe I hope that there's nothing broken. That is just that nobody has typed anything yet. Aha, they're coming. Hello, Larissa. Hey, Daniela. Hello, Kitty. And some of you I know are definitely taking part in Read It Short. So, how are you guys doing? What is the progress so far? I am 64% into the Healing Hippo of Hinode Park, but this will be on hold for the rest of today. I will only continue in it tomorrow. I've read 3 out of the 5 stories for this one so far, and I'm definitely enjoying it so far. My will to do things is non existent, but I'm 41% into the photography book. Nice. Okay. Is it a long one? I mean, it's really short, but even then. But yeah, it's fun. Like I have done like a photography course because I don't know. I don't think I'll learn that well through books, but I definitely learn better through books than through like videos or something like that. Or I guess it depends. But I always prefer to have like a book for something rather than just trying to figure it out myself. But then, of course, like with something like photography, I definitely thought it was also very useful to have a course. So I don't think I've ever read a photography book. I don't know how clear it would be, all of those terminology and all of those settings and stuff like that. 128 pages, apparently. Nice. I started Verdwijnpunt by Witske Versteeg. Very hard hitting. Only have 40 minutes left of the audio. Okay, don't know it, but it's already has a title that indeed sounds like it's harrowing. I just edited my video for tomorrow, and now I hope to read at least 100 pages more in Wondersmiths. Nice. Yeah, so I finished Nevermore yesterday. So yeah, definitely the point is to continue, but I don't know like when I will continue. I mean, with that I mean like I don't know if I'm gonna wait until February to continue or whether I'll continue sooner. But there are a few things that are sort of like that I want to be picking up before I'll consider that. And definitely, for example, the second book in the Magician trilogy, I want to be really. Ugh. I wanted to be reading Snake Eater by T. Fisher, but that was also because I thought it was a January release, and it seems to depend on the edition, and I don't think that this is the January edition. But there are some books coming out, like next week, for example, so I might pick up something like that first. But I definitely did enjoy it, so I definitely do want to continue. And it was actually also a pretty good commute book because it's not too difficult to follow along. And so I didn't really find myself like zoning out and missing certain sections of the book as a consequence. Hello, Natalie. I'm glad you're enjoying the hippo. Yeah, like I've just filmed my update for the vlog as well, so I'm not entirely sure whether this author is doing anything else than other healing fiction people, but it's been a year, I think, since my last healing fiction, so that seems to be a decent enough time for me to deal with with healing fiction and not kind of feel like, oh, this is just like a repeat of every single type of healing fiction that I've ever read. So I'm definitely enjoying the slice of liveness of this book at this point in time. Nevermore is definitely my priority this month, and the books keep getting longer. Okay, yeah, yeah. I didn't have like the physical book. I actually have the audio book, and it's actually one of the few times in which I'm dealing with a Dutch audiobook and that I don't really mind all that much. And I also think that there's no like super real Dutchisms in it that make me go like that take me out of the story neither. So I mean I've been enjoying that audiobook. So I'll probably just continue going that route unless I at some point decide that they're like the best things that I've ever read. But so far, I really enjoyed it. I think it's like a 4.5 or something like that. But it just hasn't captured my heart as much as I hoped to really be a 5 star. I'm gonna cook an early dinner first. Gonna listen to the Cozy Cat book. Nice. I'm also cooking dinner. Yeah. For dinner, I have escargots that I'm going to prepare in the oven. So I don't really need to put in any work tonight. Just put stuff in the oven and then eat it afterwards. For little Miss over there, I have bought different things to try for her, and she just had cat milk for the first time, and that went down really well. So, but you're apparently only supposed to give them like one package of cat milk per week. I'm not entirely sure whether that is because of like the fat level or something like that, because this cat can definitely use some more fats, or whether it's because of the lactose, because it's like very lactose reduced. I think it's at like 98% less lactose than in milk. But maybe like if you give them more than one package a week, it's still too much lactose for them to be able to properly digest. So for the time being, I will do nothing with. I will just stick to the 1 week, like the one package of cat milk. Escargot, or did I miss you? Yes, I am one of those people who does like snails. So yeah, I bought a package of escargots. So that is what I will be eating this evening. And as you can see at the bottom of my screen, what I will be reading is Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. So I will also be dealing with something hard hitting throughout these sprints. So hopefully it's nothing that really will make me cry. I'm expecting it to be something that will make me angry, but we'll see. I think this is in reference to the escargots. Yeah, I mean, I've had them since I was a young kid, so I actually never thought that they were, like disgusting or whatever, because we used to have them like at home when we were just like watching TV. So we would occasionally have them like in front of like at like our movie night. So I, for example, associate Jurassic Park with eating snails. So yeah. I support the book choice much more than the food choice. Yeah, I'm very curious because I famously don't get along with Irish authors, except that I have also read a book by an Irish author that I gave 5 stars to last year. Was that last year? Maybe the year before that. So I don't think I stumbled upon that book. No, it has to have been last year. So I need to keep that in mind for my best books of 2025 video if I ever film it. And so that one I really enjoyed a whole lot. That's probably the only book by an Irish author I've enjoyed. So here's hoping that Claire Keegan can join that list. Yes. Probably never had them. Yeah, I mean, that I can understand. That was one of my nightmare scenarios in Paris, accidentally ordering weird food. I mean, it's pretty. It would just be the escargots, right? Or like I guess like the foie gras. Do they have other weird stuff? In Paris, in France, do they eat other weird stuff? No idea. But yeah, I went to the grocery store, so I am set with way too many crisps, considering my goal is to eat less crisps this year. But hey, we don't necessarily need to start our good intentions at the beginning of the year, right? So I bought quite a lot of crisps and some other food stuff, quite a lot of stuff for the cats. And so I'm ready to go into hibernation mode until midday tomorrow when I have to go to my parents, and so I have to leave the cave over here. But yeah, I have a very empty space behind me now, and it's so weird now that the Christmas tree is gone again, because it feels so empty, because unlike a lot of people, I don't actually move stuff around to fit my Christmas tree in. I have the space for it naturally, and so when the Christmas tree is gone, I'm just like, what normally stands there? And it's just like nothing, right? But it's so empty now. So yeah, Christmas tree is gone. But I have already spotted a few Christmas decorations that I didn't spot when I was clearing things off. So I do still need to remove a few more Christmas things from their spots over here to remove the entire decorations. But so yeah, I think we can go into our first sprint, and yeah, hopefully I'm not a total mess by the time this timer goes off, because I'll be somewhere in the middle, I guess, of this read. But so yeah, enjoy what you're reading, and see you guys in 45. Hello. So I am a third of the way in. I'm 44 pages in. I do have to say that, like, when this sprint started, I just had like a massive wave of exhaustion hit me. I feel like I was immediately feeling like so tired. Maybe just because I ate a bunch of candy right before, and so I had a little bit of a sugar dip or something like that. I'm coming out of it now, in any case. But yeah, I was struggling a little bit there. Don't think I cried reading small things like these, but I cried a bit during the movie. Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess the movie must expand upon it quite a fair bit, right? Because I'm like 44 pages in, so 36 or something like that percent in, and we've like just had our first sort of like inclination of the topic. So I'm guessing we're like it's going to be very short focus, and so the movie probably expands upon it a whole lot more. And might therefore be more hard hitting. But in any case, sometimes I also find it more hard hitting seeing something, though, of course, depending on the way it's written, the book might be more hard hitting. Made it to 60%. Nice. It's me, McTavish. Hello. I happened to check the YouTubes to see what was on my feed for this evening and saw you were broadcasting. Exactly. I finished Verdwijnpunt and ate dinner. How was the book? And how was your food? Got to 55% while cooking and eating. Nice. I read about 25 more pages and did some other stuff. Good. The movie was a very accurate representation of the book as far as I remember. Did you like how did you watch the movie? Is it just on Netflix? Because I haven't checked that yet. I've been having a very poor reading year so far, simply because I've taken my foot off the gas since hitting my end of year reading goals. Very few pages since taking a break. I mean, the year is like 10 days long thus far, so having a poor reading year thus far definitely doesn't mean anything yet, but it's definitely also nice to take a little bit of a break and, put the foot off of the pedal. That's not how you say that. And so, yeah, definitely go as slow as you want to take this little break. I think gymnastics season has also started, so I definitely think that that can be an explanation for why my first half of the year is almost always way less productive than the rest, because definitely I'm also already starting to lose time by watching gymnastics meets, and so I'll definitely also allow that, because I definitely always love this time of year and getting to keep up with that. Food yum, and the book was good. But today has been my best day of the year. I've been reading Ian McDonald's The Dervish House, and I've hit 72% or so. Nice. I borrowed it in the 99-cent deal on Amazon Prime. Okay. Hey, hello, Ewald. How are you doing? Then flipped over to my nonfiction for the month, A City on Mars, not March, which is absolutely jam-packed with factoids about expanding outwards beyond our magnetosphere is a hugely complicated problem. Okay, so I'm assuming it's a nonfiction specifically about the logistics of what it would be like to actually expand to Mars or what. Sounds interesting. But so yeah, I'm going to in the next sprint I am going to be making my dinner and eating it. I will be probably not reading much as a consequence, though my dinner just goes into the oven. So during that, I'll probably be reading, but so a little bit less of progress probably in this sprint. So it'll probably still be 3 more sprints for me to finish it, I guess, because I am like a little over a third into it now, and I'll probably not make much progress next. So yeah, should be done in like 3 sprints time, which is nice with these shorter books, of course. So, because I definitely feel like I've had decent progress already, because I haven't really spent much time reading today compared to the previous Read It short, where I really did spend most of my time on reading. Today, I was really dragging my feet, not on starting the reading, just on starting my day. And so, definitely not a whole ton of progress happened, or not as much progress happened as I would have liked to have seen happens, but still I got to like 2/3 into the other book, and now a third of the way into this one. So definitely I think I set myself realistic goals, considering how low key this weekend is turning out to be. But that's nice as well, because I'm just very happy to spend this weekend on these books and finally prioritize them. The subtitle text for A City of March is Can We Settle Space? Should We Settle Space? And Have We Really Thought This Through? Interesting. It is a really compelling read so far, and I've just started. Okay. Yeah, I never want to read as much again as I did last. Riss. My brain. Read it short. Oh my god. Don't even know the abbreviation for my own reading challenge. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I disliked how much I read. If I remember correctly, a lot of the progress that I made during Read It Short last time was also done while doing a puzzle, for example. I just listened to a whole ton of audio last time. But I'm also fine with this. With the joy of like reading short books is that it seems easier in any case to just do other stuff and still get the feeling like you've made a huge amount of progress, because in principle, now I've already read quite a lot, but like when I had just read the like 100 whatever pages, in principle, when I read 100 pages in Magician, sure, I consider that a lot of progress, but it still hits differently when you're like done with the book after having done that, or close to being done with the book, right? So you can more easily get that feeling of like, oh yeah, I finished 3 books, even if page wise they might not be all that impressive. Even if page wise it might just be like a third of another book that you read on another weekend, and then you feel very differently about it. But so that's the joy of this challenge, and of being able to just like go a little bit more low key into it and still get a lot of things done, and still be able to tick off multiple books off of that to be read list. I'm aiming for 3 books this weekend. Yeah, I'm aiming for, so I definitely think I'll make those 3, because I was basically aiming for especially these 2. So these 2 were like the priority. But so as I said, 2/3 of the way into this one, which is actually maybe not the longest one, but definitely one of the longer ones on my sort of like potential pile. And then 1/3 of the way a little bit over into this one, but this one is the shortest one. And then I want to finish one of these 2, but most likely I'll read this one. So yeah, it's the Dutch translation, and there is no English translation out for it yet. But so To Bird and To Kill, I guess, by Sayaka Murata, or Child of Wax by Olga Raven, which I'm actually also not sure whether the English translation is out already or not. But yeah, I just really wanted to prioritize that one as well. But so this one is 200 pages, so would be a little bit less likely. This one is just over 100 pages. This one is basically same length as Small Things Like These. So I think that those are definitely doable. The Olga Raven one, maybe not. And so it'll depend, because tomorrow I'm going to my parents, so I'll have less time. Considering how much non-reading I did today, I will have more or less the same amount of time probably. But so I might just choose not to start a 4th book. But I think I'll easily get to the 3 books that I planned to go for. Starting my day has been a real problem over here too. I've been sleeping in a lot. Usually that only happens when I'm tired from being busy. That's not the case, just hibernating. Yeah, I definitely had that hibernating down in the holiday. Like during the holidays, I very often just like only got out of bed at like 11 or 12. And so going back to work in that regard is better for a normal schedule. But I definitely have been feeling that switch in the evenings. So we'll see what ends up happening tonight. It typically only really hits me when I move into the bedroom. But during the holidays, of course, if I was only like getting out of bed at 12, like it's normal that by the time that I went to bed in the evenings, it was very late, and I was also still able to read in bed. Whereas now we're definitely seeing that when it comes around to reading in bed, we are back to the old pattern of me reading like 2 or 3 pages and then just like falling asleep 20 times, and like trying to just get to the end of a chapter, the end of a paragraph. Yes. I got there eventually. I think last time I did around 800 pages. This time I'm aiming for maybe 500. I think I did also something like 800 to 900 pages last time. So definitely more than okay with doing less than that. I'm definitely not trying to see like how can I read as much as like I'm not trying to break my record every single time or anything like that. I don't even, I mean, maybe one day I'll do that to be like, oh, let me see how much can I read during a really short weekends. But I'm happy with this sort of like cozy, low key one. And I think it also perfectly fits hibernation season, winter season to just like not put goals too high. We already have more than enough goals for the new year. Speaking of puzzles, a Lego building dude who I follow on the socials posted pictures of his finished Marvel Avengers towers. It's huge, like on a similar scale to your Lord of the Rings Dark Tower. Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. I have new Lego. I mean, I still also have old Lego that I need to build. So I have like 5 Lego sets, I think, at this point in time, lying around that I need to build. One was just delivered yesterday, so that I couldn't have like done that quicker, you know. But I definitely also need to focus on that. And actually, that reminds me that I need to see when Chinese New Year is this year. Because I have the new figure for Chinese New Year. Okay, February 17, which is the day I come back from Tenerife. So I will not be building it that day, but I hope to this time around be quicker in building the figurine for the new Chinese New Year because it's not visible because the timer's in front of it. But the snake for this year was only made in like June or so. Hij plant verdwijnpunt door het stof en het smalle pad van verlangen. Nice. So 3 books also, yeah. A romance, a non-fiction, and a fantasy. Nice mix as well. If I pre-order a very, very limited edition book in January for delivery May and June, would you consider this as a book purchased in January? For my stats, for example, I only add it the moment that it gets here, but that is just with the way that my spreadsheet is built. It depends on the way that your spreadsheet is built, I guess, whether you want to see it like that. But I tend to see pre-orders, and because I guess I see it more as sort of like hauled rather than purchased. Like this is hauled in that month, the month in which it arrives. But I can see a point for saying that, like for adding it into the January stats now. It just depends how you want to, like what you want to do with those stats. So yeah, I mean, I give you absolute permission to only consider it as purchased in May or June in case that is what you want to hear. Wondering if I can still claim I didn't haul books in January. Yeah, I mean, I would say so. For my finance spreadsheets, I'd count it as a transaction right now, but for the book spreadsheet, hauled in the month it arrives. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't have a finance spreadsheet. I will say that is somewhat of my difficulty as well with my spreadsheet because I was trying to track the amount of money I spent on books, but then with like the broken binding books and stuff like that, it was always just too difficult, and I just stopped. I never really did it because you pay for them the month before, pay for it on the credit card in a different currency. So checking out what it actually cost by the time it arrived and I would add it to my spreadsheet, it would be too difficult to still see the individual amounts. And so I just stopped doing that. And so this year, I'm trying to be better about that. But actually, that is a good reminder for myself that I should look into the receipt for like the payments of this month and last month for the broken binding so that I can add those details into my spreadsheet this time around. But so yeah, that I'm caught up to the chat, so that means that we can go into our next sprint. So see you guys in 45. Hello. So I didn't make much progress. I read some pages and small things like this, and then I prepared and ate dinner, watched some gymnastics during as well, and so ready to go back into the book in the next particular sprint. Do also think that um, the cat milk is not really working very well for Fate because I do think she was struggling a little bit with the lactose. It seems like even though it's got like 98% less lactose than normal milk, she is having a little bit of diarrhea. It seems like so. Hopefully, she's not feeling too poorly. So, how did you guys do? Um, I yeah, I already said everything, I think. I don't really think I have more to say about what I've done thus far during this sprint because it wasn't really one in which much happens. Sorry, I got something stuck or something. Um, Hello, joined during the last sprint. I'm reading The Potency of Ungovernable Impulses by Malka Older, 20 pages in. Nice. What is that? Is that like fiction or is that a non-fiction? Reading more of my City on Mars book, which I can link back to our Sleeping In chat earlier. It's a segment on fluid shifts causing eyeball damage. Okay, fun. This is studied by making people lie down for days at a time. Okay. About 35 pages more in Wundersmith. Nice. I was deciding between cooking and eating the same leftovers as for lunch, and I cooked while listening to something and accidentally added cinnamon to my noodles instead of ginger. Hopefully, not too much. like, I mean, who knows? Maybe you've invented like an amazing meal. Got to 67% and drew two little icons, then started embroidering them. Good. Gonna eat it now, yeah. Let us know the results. I started Dorrit Stoff and did the dishes. Going to hop over to Denise's book discussion, but if you're still going after, I'll be back. Okay. Let's see. I don't know how long I'm gonna go. I've reached the end of a chapter. The next chapter is titled SpaceX and Consequences Thereof. But I think I'm done with my reading for the day. It's mystery sci-fi set on floating platforms in the atmosphere of Jupiter. Nice. Are you enjoying it? Planning on a rock and roll Saturday night involving my YouTube episodes, video games, and Telebox episodes. Sounds like a perfect type of evening. Enjoying all the things you like to enjoy, like a perfect mix. Are you going to eat some more? Doesn't seem too traumatized by the milk neither. Yeah. But so yeah, I'm trying some new stuff with her, so that's also of course not that amazing because then there's oftentimes a little bit more tummy issues when she's eating new stuff. But she once again was not all that excited about her old food anymore, so now I have to look for other things to give this cat. uh, it's the third book in a series, so yeah, I enjoy them. Nice. If the cat's milk is still too much for Fate, you could mix a little with lots of water. That might still trigger the appetite. Yeah, I could do that because, like, I basically underestimated or like overestimated, I guess, the amount that was in the package. So I already gave like half a package in one go, whereas it's supposed to be like 4 portion sizes. So I probably gave her a little bit too much in one go. She didn't like drink it in one go, but it's not that she drank it in like 3 times, but she just had like a few, like, I don't know, 10 minutes break in between every time that she went to drink some more of it. And now she's eating a new type of like a jelly. Let's see. And she had also had like a new liquid snack. So maybe not that ideal, all new things. But at least she's eating them. And hopefully she'll enjoy them and keep on enjoying them. I've joined a nonfiction reading challenge on the Storygraph to read a nonfiction each month. Wait. to try and ramp up at this side of my reading. There are so many challenges on the story graph, so many. Yeah, I sometimes could debate something like that, like a nonfiction a month, but then I just know that will that won't happen. Plus, with 2026 being the year of spontaneity, I don't want to have to read a nonfiction per month when the idea is to read whatever I want whenever I want to read it. So yeah, at the moment, I'm just gonna not do that. The only, like, I have a few challenges that I'm joining, of course, but the main challenge that is added in 2026 is just the one that I made of all sort of like my ongoing series, or not really all of my ongoing series, all series that I made progress in 2025. And so just to make progress in the next book in those series. So not even to finish those series, but to read like the next book in those series. And yeah, hopefully I will get some of those done. I don't plan to do all of them because it's over 30 books, but I would love to see how many of those series I'm actually going to be tackling this year. And now the dog wants to go for a walk. Yeah, you'll have to. You'll have to oblige. The City on Mars is my January entry, but I have so many other books I want or need to read this month. So many side project read alongs and official read alongs I'm committed to already. Luckily, Bussy is not fussy with food at all. Now everyone can gift her treats. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong, Ray Spontaneity. I just want to read more of these as I keep putting them out. I had a City on Mars on a spring 2024 TBR and it didn't get started, so I need a nudge. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to still potentially do it automatically. Not that I've picked up a nonfiction in January, so that's already not a great start thus far. But I do still kind of hope to read more nonfiction, which I don't think is that difficult because I don't think I read many nonfictions in 2025. So I haven't actually done much reflecting on that, but there definitely are also, in my case, quite a fair few nonfictions. Maybe that can be like the challenge for next Read It Short weekends, can be to focus on nonfiction, for example, to read our short nonfiction books. However, that can also, of course, be a little bit of a to its own detriment to only read nonfiction. Then that it might be better to have like a mix, the way that Larissa now has. So it might not work neither if we really focus on nonfictions for a full weekend. Of course, they're only going to be very short ones, so something to be discussed. It's only the 10th. There's still some time for January nonfiction. Yeah, I mean, technically, or that was December, right? Yeah. I was going to say, technically, I read The Penguin Lessons, which is a memoir, but I read that in December. Some of my nonfictions are definitely shorter than my fiction. I'm liking the mix. Today I've done both. Yeah, I have some short nonfiction. Like the only one I can really think of is like Selfish, Self-Absorbed, and Not Something Else, which is like about people deciding not to have kids. But I definitely do think that I have quite a fair bit of nonfiction that is on the shorter side on my one to read as well. You could say learning for the next round. Oh, yeah, okay. And then you could still read like fiction that is about certain topics, or fiction in which characters learn something. So yeah, that could be an idea for the next round, which then will be in April, right? If I can count correctly. But let's go for another round, and then I can learn what is going on here. Hello. Basically, like 2 pages away from finishing this book. So, not great timing in that regard. Um, how did you guys do? I think next sprint will probably be the last one since I will be finishing this book off. I'll definitely mark it as the last sprint possible. That afterwards I'll want to do another sprint, but let's just go into it, assuming it's going to be the last sprint, and then maybe there's still going to be a secret last sprint. But indeed, if the next round is going to be in April, it means it needs to fit the magical readathon. However, if indeed we say that the theme for next time is going to be learning, then it will automatically fit with magical readathon, as we can say that, our character is learning, and so we can use whichever prompt of the magical readathon, or we can choose to read something not for magical readathon if you're not taking part, that just has to do with learning. Or, of course, as always, the theme of the round is just like a suggestion. You can read whatever you want. And I'm back. Sometimes I think she doesn't want a walk as much as she wants me to witness her doing her business outside. It's almost like a cat then. Had dinner and now 30 pages to go to 50% for tonight. Nice. Got to 80% and I'm still embroidering. Good. This YouTube mode for me now. I try to catch up with all the newest episodes each day to keep up. Good. The noodles were fine. I couldn't taste the cinnamon much. Okay, good. I've managed 107 pages today so far. I'll read more in bed before sleep, which is substantially higher than the rest of this year. Good going. Finally finished my physical reading. Good. About 20 more pages read. Nice. I did my therapy homework, just a computer task I've been procrastinating, so I asked her to hold me accountable for it. Nice. Well, good on you for having done it now then. And yeah, as indicated, I am really quite literally like at the end on page 108, and it has 116 pages, so 8, and that's probably with like the dedication. But I'm constantly forgetting that this, like, I'm always imagining this book taking place like 100 years ago or something like that. I don't know, and I'm constantly having to like I'm constantly triggered by certain moments and having to realize like, oh yeah, right, this book takes place like 3 years before I'm born, because then there'll be references to like Lego, or there's like a reference to All Creatures Great and Small, which I watched when I was young, and so it's just like a few times in this book I've already had to be like, huh? And I'm like, oh yeah, right, this does not take place in the far past. This is actually quite recent, which is like I mean, it's just like more harrowing to realize that these things were going on at that point in time. But yeah, it's jarring me from time to time to realize the time frame of this book. I once deliberately made a stew with cinnamon, took a pic and posted it on the socials, got a lot of pushback for that. It tasted fine though. I mean, in the stew, I can definitely imagine that cinnamon just adds something nice to it. It was one of those social sites where people up or down vote an image plus comments, so you can imagine how that might have gone. It wasn't that bad as I recall. Yeah, I mean, that to me seems fair because, like, in stoofvlees, which is like the Belgian stew, I do think that they put something sweet in there. So why couldn't you put something like cinnamon in there? Am I right in thinking that Reddit is based around up or down voting from the punters? I've never used it. I don't think I'm thick skinned enough for that sort of thing. I don't know. I've never really proper. Yeah, there might be up and down voting, because all I really use Reddit for is like when I'm looking something up and Reddit comes up as a result. But actually basically I barely use Reddit at all. Like sometimes it comes into some search results, but honestly speaking, I haven't been on Reddit a lot because I find it to be very overwhelming. Wait. Hello, Denise. Your live show is done, I see. How are you doing? I'm fine over here. I am just about to finish my first book for Read It Short, so 8 pages to go in this one. And as I said to the people who were here earlier as well, I will be marking the next sprint as the final sprint. There is the potential for there to be a sprint after the final sprint, but let's go into this one thinking it's a final sprint because it is possible, as I am finishing this book and I might not want to overstretch myself today. I made a lemon and poppy seed drizzle cake, but the icing was a bit thin and ran everywhere. I've ordered more cake baking goods for next week as I have plans. Yeah, today I went to get flour and then I also bought some sugar because I think like last weekend I guess I wanted to make cookies and then I had already like mixed the sugar and something else when I realized that I actually didn't like the sugar and the butter when I realized that I didn't have flour. So now I have the basic requirements for a lot of these baking recipes. And I'm back. Did not read. It's perfectly fine. Hey Judith. Cabrito stoba, goat stew, doesn't have any sweet things in it, but carne stoba, beef stew, does. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that in a stew, it makes sense, and I could understand that the taste of cinnamon can add some richness to the flavor of a stew. So I would not have booed your cinnamon addition. Yes, live show done. Now need to shower. No problem. Just glad I could say hi. Well, happy you were here. And with that having been said, let's just go into this sprint. So see you in 45. I'll put the banner up in a few seconds. How did we all do? I finished the book, and it was indeed literally like 4 pages because it was until page 112, and then there was like just an author's note and the like the thank you stuff. But I did still read the note in the end. But so yes, I finished that. My first 5-star of the year. So yay for that, and yay for another Irish book to prove my statement of not liking Irish literature wrong. And then I basically just like sat around for a little bit doing some stuff on the phone, and then in the final sort of like 15 minutes or something like that, I started Baren and Moorden by Sayaka Murata. So this is Sayaka Murata that is not yet translated in English. Actually, Dutch seems to be the second language in which it is translated, or at least on Storygraph. I only found the Japanese, the Italian, and the Dutch edition of this book, and I love, 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 love this cover. So this cover already immediately drew me when I was walking past a bookstore last week. And then when I found out that that cover actually belonged to a Sayaka Murata book, I was like, yeah, hello. I definitely want this book. And it's interesting because it seems, I mean, I don't know whether that is the case, but it definitely has very similar elements to the previous book that she has come out with. Which I didn't enjoy all that much, but it has the same sort of like idea of birth centers. It has that same sort of technology of artificial wombs so that guys can also give birth. But I don't remember this concept being in there because basically the idea is that you can, like, if you want to kill somebody, you have to birth 10 children before you can do so. And then it's basically legal to do so. If you decide that you don't want to, that you don't want to go the legal route and that you don't want to bother giving birth to 10 kids before being allowed to kill somebody, and you kill somebody regardless, then basically if you're caught doing that, like the sentence for that is basically lifelong forced breeding. So I don't know yet where this story is going to take this concept, because it's not like our protagonist is interested in doing this. So I'm assuming we're probably going to see our protagonist kind of find somebody that she does want to kill, because at this point in time we've just started the story there. She's at her office job, and like 2 people have just quit their jobs because they've decided to become birders because they have somebody that they want to kill. And she on her end has been talking to her colleague and it's like, yeah, no, I definitely don't want to be doing this. And now she has like a niece who's coming over for the summer. And so yeah, I'm expecting us to of course do something with this concept, and so I'm expecting her to find somebody she wants to kill, either this niece or somebody who hurts her niece maybe. So yeah, eager to see where that will go. So where was I? I love adding cinnamon to dishes. I don't think I've added cinnamon to many dishes though, but that's also because I mainly use HelloFresh, and they haven't proposed it. It's not like I do a lot of cooking myself or finding of recipes myself these days. Goat is more sweet from itself than beef. Okay, yeah, yeah. The noodles I make have peanut butter and coconut cream sauce, so it doesn't need any more sweet tones, but it also wasn't completely out of place. Peanut butter is the best sauce for noodles, so I highly respect your choices here. Started another book. Good. I did a bit more research and made tea. Nice. Halfway through Wondersmith. We'll finish the chapter now. It's all so cruel and unfair right now. Oh, I hate it. I don't want to see cruelty and unfairness to our protagonist. Um, Read 44 pages. Nice going. Got to 97%, and I'm working on the second embroidery. You're done within a few minutes after, right? Happy you found a new 5-star. I scrolled a bit on Discord. Good. Yay for 5 stars. I highly recommend Foster. That's my favorite Keegan so far. Okay. Maybe I'll add that to my one to read so that that can be the next one I try by her. Foster. Claire, Keegan, not Fister. Also 89, like also I say as if this one was 89 pages, but also very short. So that's already nice. And I want to save a different edition of this book because this is a very ugly cover. I'm saving that edition to read. Yeah, don't need to find out what it is about. I don't want to. Next. I had a few Irish 4 stars in 2025, like Sunburn and Beautiful World, Where Are You? Yeah, I have yet to try a Sally Rooney, right? I don't think I ended up ever trying her. It is definitely on my list of like, I need to try her at some point in time. And then I need to figure out which Sally Rooney I will actually start with. Another good chunk read. The plot thickens. I lost track of how many pages. Yeah, I also never really tracked the pages. Also made coffee. Good. Yeah, I definitely forgot how mean some of these characters are. It's a great exploration of fear of potential power and basically doing everything wrong because of that fear. The book that I just read, Small Things Like These, or is this also in Wundersmiths? I thought like Small Things Like These is also very strong because when you read about stories like this, you're always thinking like, why does nobody stand up? Why is nobody like? Why are they always cowering? And you do fully understand that, and you're also kind of rooting to some extent, or at least I was to some extent rooting, or like telling our character to, you know, not get involved because of the potential implications to himself. I thought that that was very strong about the story as well, how you kind of become complicit. Or I at least came in a sort of like wish to protect this guy and his family. Wondersmith. Okay. Well, it's similar. They have the same. They have similar teaming in that case. Because I definitely think that that could also be said to be the case for Small Things Like These. And a face is like curled up in a ball next to me here, being the cutest. And I already feel like I need to comb her again. But she's not gonna be happy with that. I'm gonna try and comb her every day now to see if that just kind of helps with her fur kind. I don't know, it's just feeling like it so easily starts to clip together these days, whereas before it wasn't. But I also just feel like she's not really washing on her end as well as she used to. But so yeah, that is going to be more or less my progress for Read It Short for today. I don't think I'll continue on in Baren en Moorde. Wow, I said that very Dutch. Baren en Moorde, because it doesn't have chapters. So that is an issue. Like the positive side, of course, is that it's only 112 pages, but so it does not have chapters. So you basically have to make it to a paragraph break before you can stop. So I have made it to a paragraph break. So I think I will leave it there for today and just carry on with it tomorrow. And then I will also tomorrow listen to the final 2 pages, final 2 stories in The Healing Hippo of Hinode Park. And guys, what that will mean for my TBR? It will mean that we're back down to 18 at the end of tomorrow. So I'm also happy with that. And that is true, of course. Cat health can influence the fur super fast. Yeah. And since she is, in any case, a little bit of a thyroid baby and potentially has a tumor, that could definitely be the case. I also definitely felt like when she was still eating sort of like the dry kibble was like the really like like expensive one that is like the Royal Canin, I guess it is, right? And so then her fur was way better than now, even though she's not eating like the cheapest food, she's eating Sheba, but yeah, I definitely think that the fur has been better before. Thanks for sprints. I'll go finish that book next. Yeah, you go and do that because you really don't have much left to go, right? And so, yeah, I'm going to be ending sprints here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you got some nice progress in whatever you were reading, definitely feel free to continue reading on, of course. I am going to be stopping for today, definitely, with reading, and I'll pick it back up tomorrow and hopefully still finish these 2 books. Good night, Kitty. My cats eat Purina one and are also picky eaters. Yeah, the picky eating side is worse. Is the worst, right? You're more than welcome for sprints. Hello, over and out. Yes, we are stopping sprints here. But yeah, the picky eating is the worst, especially when you think you found it and then she goes off of it at some point because she's bored. But whenever I give her a different like flavor, she's also not enjoying that. So of course, when I just stick to the same chicken every single day, then at some point she's like, "Oh no, I don't want this anymore." But if I give her chicken and then the next day I give her turkey, she's like, "Where's my chicken?" But so, thank you guys for being here. See you guys tomorrow. Probably tomorrow sprints will be either at the same time or a little bit later because I'm going to my parents at lunchtime, so it doesn't really make sense for me to host sprints before that. And so it will be after, and I'm not entirely sure. 5 might be a little bit too early. So to be on the safe side, I will say that it's probably going to be at 6 tomorrow. But so yeah, see you guys tomorrow and enjoy the rest of your day, and see you guys.